breakfast. We are going to learn, since it is in my core subject, GST. So today I thought let's start with GST online. And when we talk about the GST, we cannot think other than the good faculty. CA Jignesh Bhai Kansara is today with us. Welcome you, Jignesh Bhai. Today being a new financial year, yesterday we celebrated a spacious day, Gudi Padwa. So we wish all the members happy Gudi Padwa since we are meeting today, right? So today's topic, what we have decided, Jignesh Bhai is going to enlighten us on the new amendments, new changes which are applicable for the new financial years 22-23. And with those changes, he's also going to talk on the assessments, scrutiny, how to handle the show cause notices and the summons under the indirect tax regime GST. So with this, Jignesh Bhai, we welcome you. And to give the introduction, I would invite Manish Bhai Dedia to introduce today's speaker.
Thank you, convener. Hello. Hello. Thank you, convener, sir. First of all, I welcome the new team, the new convener Jayesh Bhai and the deputy convener Purvi Bagheria. Our convener is a vibrant convener, and we will have definitely a vibrant year ahead. Starting with the vibrant topic of GST, which has a lot of changes in last 4-5 years, although it is supposed to be a very stable act. But now we will learn how stable it is and how the dealers are facing various issues with notices which are coming from the department with auto-generated report-based notices. Where we have with us today Jignesh Bhai Kansaria to enlighten us on this topic of GST amendments and how to face the notices which are coming. Jignesh Bhai is a member, definitely it goes on saying that he is a chartered accountant. More so, his IDT approved more than 175 lectures in across India on behalf of Institute. He is a regular faculty at various platforms like Central Government Training Institute of Training Officers belonging to Central Cadet. He is on WRC Study Circle and various other platforms. He has co-authored a book on GST refund, law, procedure and practice published by GST PAM. And he is a member of Law and Representation Committee of GST PAM for 2021. He was an indirect tax committee member for WRC and BCA for various years. And he is a founder member for Conference of GST Professional, Confederation of GST Professional and Industry Institute. With this short and brief background, I welcome Jignesh Bhai to this August gathering of today. I request CA Rajendra Ragnekar to please give a token of love in form of a memento to Jignesh Bhai. I request Purvi also to give the token. Thank you, Jignesh Bhai. Now dice is yours now. क्लिक कर लो इसको, क्लिक कर लो.
Good afternoon, friends. Congratulations to newly appointed convener and deputy convener. And my heartfelt thanks for this opportunity to speak with esteemed member of this study group on physical mode. For almost 2 years, we are missing fellowship. Of course, online has its advantages. We can deliver lecture or we can listen lecture from the luxury of our home. But what I would say, fellowship which we were enjoying earlier, high hello karne wala jo system tha, it was totally missing. I'm sure in time to come, we will have more physical sessions like this. And more members will join such session. Friends, topic given for the day relates to various types of notices. We are in 5th year of GST implementation. In earlier 2 years, we were worrying about normal compliances. Then we went to annual compliances. And now whatever compliances we have made in last 3-4 years, that is being cross-checked and notices are issued by the department to verify stand which we have taken in last 3-4 years. As Manish Bhai has said, even in 5th year, GST is far from being settled. अभी भी settle हुआ नहीं है और शायद it may take longer time to settle. Understanding of GST law within the professional as well as within department is still evolving. Even if you see notices, we can make out that various discrepancies alleged in notices should not have been raised at the first count, because many things have been taken care at the time of GST audit. But all these things are not considered and notices are being issued. So we will see what are the various notices which are being issued. And as a professional, how we can help taxpayers in answering those notices. So with that intention in mind, I will start my session. I am presenting before you infographics on ASMT 10. For almost an hour, we are going to discuss only this infographics. Let us see process involved in ASMT 10 process and ASMT 10. Yeah, thank you. So let's start with this infographics. Step 1. If proper officer feels that there is any discrepancy in compliance made by taxpayer, he will issue notice in the form of ASMT 10. Once ASMT 10 is here, taxpayer is supposed to file reply on such discrepancies online in form ASMT 11. Now, after filing this reply, if proper officer feels that reply is satisfactory or whatever tax is due has been fully paid, in that situation, officer will issue ASMT 12, and that is end of proceedings. Discrepancy, online notice in ASMT 10, online reply in ASMT 11. If that reply is found satisfactory, applicable tax interest has been paid in full, officer will issue ASMT 12, end of proceedings. Suppose your client is not so lucky. Officer has issued ASMT 10, you have filed reply, but officer feels that reply is unsatisfactory. or whatever tax payment you have made is not proper. In that situation, officer will issue another notice in form DRC-01A. DRC-01A is nothing but pre-SOCOS notice. So those who have practiced in service tax or excise, they know there is something called pre-SOCOS. As name suggests, SOCOS ke pehle wala notice is called pre-SOCOS notice. But it will be issued in form DRC-01A Part A. If this notice has been issued in your client's case, again, you are supposed to file reply online in DRC-01A Part B. Part A, notice will be issued. Reply you will have to file online in Part B. If reply which you have filed is found satisfactory, officer will again close the proceedings. But if officer has different view on your reply, then he will issue SOCOS notice in form DRC-01. Earlier it was DRC-1A and now DRC-01. Once DRC-1 has been issued, taxpayer is supposed to again reply online in form DRC-06. If taxpayer wants to make any payment, he can make such payment and appropriate such payment either through cash or credit by filing DRC-03. If on such payment officer feels that applicable tax has been recovered, officer can close the proceedings by issuing form DRC-05. What different form hai? Officer feels no, even after some payment, tax is still due. He will carry out adjudication. Adjudication is as good as आप समझ लीजिए इसी terms में assessment. Physical hearing होगा. After that hearing, officer will issue final order and summary of order. Because जो order है वो physically दिया जाएगा, but that should be uploaded on portal also. So we will have something called summary order in DRC-07. Once DRC-07 has been issued, that liability will be added to your electronic liability ledger. आपका liability में उतना amount बढ़ जाएगा. It is for taxpayer to decide whether to pay such liability or file an appeal. If taxpayer choose to file appeal, litigation will further continue. ये जो मैंने red dots दिखाए हैं, these are all litigation points. Those who follow soccer, football, जो स्टार प्लेयर होता है ना, उसके जर्सी का नंबर 10 का होता है. इसका भी नंबर 10 है, A7010. अभी आप समझ लीजिए इसका क्या कोरिलेशन रहेगा. बट अ स्मॉल नोटिस ऑफ A7010 से इतना बड़ा रिगमरल होगा एंड अल्टीमेटली क्लाइंट में एंड ऑफ फाइलिंग अपील. ये प्रोसेस है A7010 का. इंफोग्राफिक्स हमने समझ लिया है. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड दिस इन डिटेल नाउ. At any point in time, अगर आपको चाहिए, you can ask me. I will come back to the screen. But we are going to discuss this ecosystem for another hour. Friends, in today's busy life, we forget to read law. कभी अपने को एक्ट रूल खोलने का मौका ही नहीं मिलता. बराबर है. And law नया है. Unless we know what is the legal position, officer may take us for ride. So let us read together applicable section, rule, understand what does this rule and section says. So let us start with section 61. ये जो ASMT 10 है, इट इज नथिंग बट इनकम टैक्स के लैंग्वेज में लिमिटेड स्क्रूटनी। लिमिटेड स्क्रूटनी में 4, 5, 6 पॉइंट होते हैं, वैसे यहाँ पॉइंट आएंगे और आपको उसको रिप्लाई करना है। तो लिमिटेड स्क्रूटनी का पावर कहां से आया? That power is flowing from section 61. So what does this section says? The section says proper officer may scrutinize the return and related particulars furnished by the registered person. Section 61(1) gives power to proper officer to verify return and related particulars. What could be purpose for this verification? The purpose is to verify correctness of the returns and inform discrepancy if any. जो भरा है वो सही है कि नहीं है, और अगर सही नहीं है तो क्या गलत है. And section further says that this verification will be carried out in such manner as we prescribe. Means as per rule आपको देखना पड़ेगा. That is what section 61(1) says. Now first question which may run in our mind. And we are obsessed with returns. हम पूरा दिन यही करते रहते हैं. तो रिटर्न का मतलब क्या? Which return? GSTR 3B, GSTR 1, GSTR 9, 9C, ITC 04. बहुत रिटर्न हम फाइल करते हैं on a regular basis. So which return this section talks about? I'm drawing your attention to section 2, subsection 97. Return means any return. And आपने जो भी भरा है वो सब ऑफिसर चेक कर सकता है. अब कैसे चेक करेगा? उसका प्रोसीजर रूल लेट डाउन किया है रूल 99. So rule 99 says where any return furnished by registered person is selected for scrutiny, proper officer shall scrutinize the same in accordance with provision of section 61 with reference to information available with him. And उसके पास जो जो इंफॉर्मेशन है उसके साथ आपका रिटर्न को वेरीफाई करेगा. अब what information generally officer has? Officer gets lot of information from DGARM. DGARM से बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन आती है. स्टेट के ऑफिसर को बीओ, उनके बीओ सिस्टम से बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन आती है. There is a software called Advet, सेंट्रल टीम यूज करती है. वहां भी बहुत सारे डेटा पॉइंट्स थ्रो किए जाते हैं. और ईवे बिल बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन देता है. ई इनवॉइसिंग पोर्टल बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन देता है. ऑल दिस इंफॉर्मेशन इज अवेलेबल विद ऑफिसर, एंड बेसिस दैट इंफॉर्मेशन योर रिटर्न विल बी स्क्रूटिनाइज्ड. Suppose during this scrutiny any discrepancy has been found, then what? The rule says in case of any discrepancy, officer shall issue notice to the said person in form GST ASMT 10, informing him of such discrepancy and seeking his explanation thereto. अगर कोई भी discrepancy मिला, officer will issue ASMT 10. Now, once notice has been issued, what is the time limit to reply such notice? Rule says within such time, not exceeding 30 days from the date of service of notice or such further extended period as permitted by officer. यानी जनरल टाइम लिमिट रहेगा 30 days. You may take adjournment or extension from officer, but by and large 30 दिन से ऊपर एक्सटेंशन मिलता नहीं है. Further rule says that notice should also quantify amount of tax, interest, any other amount due in relation to such discrepancy. यानी नोटिस में खाली ऐसा ही नहीं बोलेंगे कि यहाँ डिस्क्रिपेंसी है. Notice should also speak what is the quantum of discrepancy, what will be the tax hit on this, what will be interest liability, if any other amount that is due, even that will be mentioned in ASMT 10. Now assume कर लीजिए आपके केस में, आपके क्लाइंट केस में एक ASMT 10 इश्यू हो गया. What option your client has? So client has two broad options. Option number 1, taxpayer may accept such discrepancy. बोले कहा हाँ भाई हमसे गलती हो गई है. And in that situation, he is supposed to pay tax, interest, any other amount भी. That is first option. Accept कर लो, tax भर दो. Second option, if taxpayer feels that there is no discrepancy, if taxpayer can properly reconcile allegation raised, then in that situation, he can furnish an explanation to the officer online in form ASMT 11. यानी इसके पास दो ऑप्शन है, या तो टैक्स भर दो या फिर रिप्लाई सबमिट करो. दैट्स इट. तीसरा ऑप्शन उसके पास कुछ है नहीं. Quite possible he may say out of 5 I want to settle 3 and contest 2. Possible. He can accept all 5. He can contest all 5. Possible. But either of the two options, no third option. Now suppose your client feels okay, I want to pay tax. Then he has to file DRC 03. DRC 03 is a mechanism to appropriate tax payment or appropriate your tax credits. आपके ITC लेजर में जो क्रेडिट है उसको एडजस्ट करना है, तो मैकेनिज्म क्या है? DRC 03. So if your client wants to pay the tax, he will file DRC 03 and will also submit reply in form ASMT 11. अगर आपने DRC 03 फाइल किया, ऑफिसर इज ड्यूटी बाउंड टू इश्यू DRC 04. DRC 04 क्या है? It is acceptance of DRC 03. DRC 03 is by taxpayer to department. DRC 4 is from department to taxpayer. Because ये पूरा जो सिस्टम है ये ब्लॉकचेन के हिसाब से, तो हर एक चीज को क्लोज करना पड़ेगा. वैट में या सर्विस टैक्स में प्रोसीडिंग्स पे चीजें क्लोज होती थी. प्रोसीडिंग शीट पे साइन कर दो, मैटर क्लोज हो गया, ऑर्डर कभी आता ही नहीं था. नाउ इन जीएसटी आपको ऑर्डर आएगा, फेवरेबल एडवर्स ये नहीं बता सकते, बट ऑर्डर आएगा. DRC 04 अभी बहुत लोगों ने चालू किया है, पहले तो लोगों ने नहीं दिए थे, बट नाउ एज आई सेड लोगों का अंडरस्टैंडिंग अभी इवॉल्व हो रहा है. अगर आपने DRC 03 फाइल किया तो ऑफिसर को DRC 04 देना कंपलसरी है. नाउ पीपल आर स्टार्ट, पहले तो उनके पास उनका सिस्टम भी नहीं सपोर्ट कर रहा था, नाउ DRC 04 का सिस्टम सपोर्ट कर रहा है. टाइम लिमिट फॉर सर, अभी डिपार्टमेंट ने उसके लिए कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं दी है. Okay, you know the reason, sir. Yes, sir.
For a particular year or a return, how many ASMT can I get?
Fine, sir. Let's start this question. A very good question. Sir is saying कि क्या recurring ASMT 10 आ सकता है? Correct?
For a period or a year.
For a period or a year. Very good question, sir. This shows our trust in our department. Okay. Anyway, a very good question. Now, what are the further obligations of proper officer? ASMT 10 आया, I have either paid tax or I have furnished reply in ASMT 11. In that situation, if officer feels that whatever reply I have submitted and that reply is proper, in that situation, he is supposed to issue ASMT 12, final closure order. समझो हमने रिप्लाई सबमिट नहीं किया तो क्या होगा? ऑफिसर ने ASMT 10 इश्यू कर दिया था, वी हैव नॉट रिप्लाइड. बहुत रीजन है. सबसे पहला रीजन तो नोटिस आई हो मालूम ही नहीं पड़ा. इफ यू सी GST पोर्टल, अनलेस यू गो टू स्पेसिफिक टैब एंड डाउनलोड नोटिस, यू कांट मेक आउट नोटिस इश्यू हुआ है. डैशबोर्ड पे कोई भी बजर नहीं है, डैशबोर्ड पे कोई भी इंटीमेशन का ये नहीं है. सो आपको एवरी टाइम या तो सपने देखने पड़ेंगे या तो रोज आपको नोटिस चेक करना पड़ेगा. सो अगर नहीं रिप्लाई किया तो क्या होगा? सेक्शन 61(3) very clearly says, in case no satisfactory explanation is furnished within 30 days of being informed, or where registered person, after accepting the discrepancy, fails to take corrective measures in his return. Proper officer may initiate appropriate action, including those under first 65, second 66, third 67, fourth 73 और 74. ये चार में से एक्शन ऑफिसर ले. कब? If we are not submitting reply, or we fail to take corrective action. In that situation, officer can invoke either of this provision. जब हमने रिप्लाई सबमिट किया, ऑफिसर को बराबर नहीं लगा, तो भी वो ये इसी को इन्वोक करेगा. तो which are this provision? 65 talks about audit by authorities. 66 special audits, जैसे इनकम टैक्स में 142(1) है, वैसा ये एक ऑडिट है, ये प्रोविजन. 67 इंस्पेक्शन सर्च. 73-74 शोकोस नोटिस के प्रोविजन. तो इसमें से कोई भी एक ऑफिसर डिपेंडिंग अपॉन फैक्ट्स फॉलो कर सकता है. जनरली ऑफिसर इसको फॉलो करेगा. ऑफिसर जनरली विल इश्यू शोकोस नोटिस अंडर सेक्शन 73 और 74. थ्योरेटिकली ये पॉसिबिलिटी है, बट रेयरली यूज होगा, रेयरली. Till now, your client must have received notices from State Department. ASMT10 अभी तक जनरली स्टेट अथॉरिटीज ने इश्यू किया था, सेंटर से बहुत कम लोगों ने इश्यू हुआ था. And they were happy कि ठीक है, सेंटर नहीं आ रहा तो ठीक है. But on 22nd March 2022, आज से 11 दिन पहले, CBIC has issued one instruction to field formation. और इस इंस्ट्रक्शन के बाद आपको सेंटर से भी नोटिस आना चालू होगा. दिस इज अ रिसेंट डेवलपमेंट, 11 दिन पहले का डेवलपमेंट. तो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन सेज. दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन विल बी फॉलोड बाय सेंटर टीम, नॉट बाय स्टेट टीम. ये सीबीआईसी का है. दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन लेस डाउन SOP to be followed by central officer for ASMT10 verification. Now refund का पूरा मॉड्यूल ऑनलाइन है, लेकिन ASMT10 का मॉड्यूल पूरा ऑनलाइन नहीं है, थोड़ा ऑनलाइन है, थोड़ा ऑफलाइन है, चल रहा है. It is in development stage. That's why this interim SOP has been issued. Once a full-fledged module will be developed, this SOP will be replaced by new SOP. अब इसका अगर आप डेडलाइन चेक करेंगे और अगर ऐसा काम होगा, सपोज अज्यूमिंग सेंटर वाले ऐसा करेंगे, तो वी विल हैव टफ टाइम रिप्लाइंग दिस नोटिसेस. सो लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट डज दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन सेज. दिस इंस्ट्रक्शन सेज दैट DGERM, एनालिटिकल विंग है DGERM सेंटर में, दैट विल एनालाइज एंड सिलेक्ट GSTN फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ ASMT10. यानी जितने भी सेंटर के असेसी हैं, उस सबका केस एनालाइज करेंगे DGERM, और DGERM विल सिलेक्ट केसेस फॉर ASMT10. यानी आपका सुपरिटेंडेंट आपको कितना भी बोल दे, ही कैन नॉट सिलेक्ट केस ऊपर से ही आएगा. DGERM will also provide relevant data along with likely revenue implication. तो जो GSTN सिलेक्ट करेंगे उसमें डेटा देंगे, और व्हाट कुड बी द रेवेन्यू इंप्लीकेशन, दैट विल बी आल्सो इन्फॉर्म टू रेंज. नाउ क्वेश्चन में अराइज, हु इज प्रॉपर ऑफिसर फॉर ऑल दिस थिंग? तो एज पर इंस्ट्रक्शन, सुपरिटेंडेंट इज द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर. अगर हम सेंट्रल की टीम को एनालाइज करें तो सबसे लोएस्ट लेवल पे जो आता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड सुपरिटेंडेंट, लाइक आवर सेल्स टैक्स ऑफिसर, like our income tax officer. So superintendent is the authority for verification of ASMT10. VAT में स्टेट टीम में या तो आपके सेल्स टैक्स ऑफिसर रहेंगे या ACDC जो भी रहेंगे, they are the proper officer. This instruction says that proper officer shall conduct scrutiny of returns pertaining to minimum 3 GSTN per month. यानी हर एक सुपरिटेंडेंट को मिनिमम 3 ASMT 10 क्लोज करने हैं, हर महीने 3। सर आपका एक सवाल था, स्क्रूटिनी ऑफ रिटर्न्स मींस scrutiny of all returns pertaining to financial year for which said GST has been identified for scrutiny. Yani, if we go by this instruction, there will be only one notice per GST. आपको 10 different notices नहीं आएगी. If we go by this instruction, central team will issue only one ASMT 10 covering maybe 10 issues possible. Further, instruction says that while raising issues, whatever tax that has been paid by taxpayer during audit, during annual compliances, DRC 03, etc. should be considered, and only for balance amount notice should be raised. सेंटर ने ये बोल तो दिया है, बट आई हैव डाउट ये होगा नहीं, आपको ही रिप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। सर ऐसा कोई लिमिट तो रखा नहीं है, लिमिट तो रखा नहीं है। नाउ एवरीथिंग हैपेंस थ्रू सिस्टम, तो टेक्निकली 5 रुपए का भी नोटिस तो आ सकता है। ओके, नाउ सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, हु कैन इश्यू सोकोस? कैन सुपरिटेंडेंट इश्यू सोकोस फॉर 2 करोड़ का टैक्स डिमांड? पॉसिबल है। तो फॉर दिस देयर इज सर्कुलर, circular number 31. This circular lays down monetary limits for issuance of SOCOS. अगर एप्लीकेशन SOCOS इश्यू करना है 20 लाख तक सुपरिटेंडेंट इश्यू कर सकता है। 20 लाख के ऊपर का ACDC, उसके ऊपर का जॉइंट कमिश्नर, उसके ऊपर का कमिश्नर, स्लैब है। सुपरिटेंडेंट भले केस आपका चेक करेगा, लेकिन नोटिस वो इश्यू नहीं कर पाएगा। नोटिस विल बी इश्यूड बाय अप्रोप्रिएट अथॉरिटी बेस्ड ऑन सर्कुलर नंबर 31. Further, this instruction says that suppose officer wants to refer this case for special audit, department audit, or even search seizure inspection, your superintendent cannot do on his own. He will be required to refer such case through his higher-ups, and only higher-ups will decide whether case needs further investigation या इसको सोकोस में ही क्लोज करना है। अब टाइमलाइंस जो इंस्ट्रक्शंस बोल रही हूं, टाइमलाइंस को एक बार समझ लेते हैं। So everything will start with DGRM. DGRM will select GSTN for ASMT 10. That information will flow from DGRM to nodal officer. Nodal officer will further give this information to superintendent. Superintendent will issue notice, but before that they will finalize scrutiny schedule, क्योंकि उनको भी महीने में 3 कंप्लीट करने हैं। वो शेड्यूल फाइनलाइज करेंगे। That schedule they will send it to DG GST, हायर अप्स को वापस देंगे। Once ASMT 10 issue हो गया, taxpayer is supposed to file reply within 30 days. If your officer is, if you want to give some additional time, he can give some additional time also, but ज्यादा नहीं मिलेगा। Once you have filed reply, an officer feels that your reply is proper, officer is required to issue ASMT 10 within 30 days, यानी 30 दिन के अंदर उनको ऑर्डर क्लोज करना है। अगर आपने रिप्लाई सबमिट नहीं किया, then on completion of 30 days SCN इश्यू करना पड़ेगा ऑफिसर को, and he will have only another 15 days, यानी within 45 days of ASMT 10 he will issue SOCOS notice. 30 दिन आपको टाइम था, आपने नहीं सबमिट किया, within 15 days he will issue
show cause notice. So within 45 days, officer will have to issue show cause notice. And that's why I'm saying, don't expect extra time from department. If reply filed is found satisfactory, then no problem. But if it is not found satisfactory, then within 30 days of your submitting reply, officer will have to issue show cause notice. If officer want to refer your case for audit, investigation, etc., in no reply case, he will have 45 days from date of notice. In reply case, he will have 30 days from date of reply of notice. और ये सब काम will जब भी वो notice issue करेगा, he will have to compulsory issue notice with DIB. है ना, मोटा मोटा उसके पास 45 से 60 days है to close entire process. Within 60 days, he will have to either issue show cause notice or he will have to issue final order in ASMT 12. This is what instruction says. And central team is known for adhering to all these deadlines. Last दिन order हो जाएगा. You take it from me. Last दिन order करके ही जाएंगे. State में concession मिल जाता है, center में नहीं मिलता. Notice आया तो assume कर लीजिए within 60 days कुछ ना कुछ तो होगा. Now सर का था कि discrepancies कौन सी आ सकती है. इसके लिए ASMT 10 issue होगा जनरली. सबसे पहली discrepancy R1 3B mismatch. You disclose your liability in R1 and you pay your liability in 3B. Am I correct? R1 is a liability statement. 3B, while filing 3B, I discharge that liability. Now assume कर लीजिए मैंने R1 में liability दिखाई थी 100 रुपीस की, but 3B में मैंने liability discharge की 80 रुपीस की. So department will say you have short paid liability of 20 rupees. This is discrepancy. We will issue ASMT 10. Second, forward charge ITC is not matching with GSTR 2A or 2B. In GSTR 3B, table 4A, sub table 5, हम लोग forward charge का ITC claim करते हैं. Department expects that this ITC should match with 2A. For 17-18 and 18-19, my humble question to all of you, whether for 17-18 and 18-19, this is must? Is this must? क्या कंपल्सरी मेरा मैच होना चाहिए 17, 18, 18, 19 के लिए? क्या कोई रूल था? 10% का रूल तो 9 अक्टूबर को आया सर, 9 अक्टूबर 2019 को आया. उसके पहले तो कोई था ही नहीं. 20% आया 9 अक्टूबर से आया, उससे पहले तो कुछ था ही नहीं. उसके पहले तो 18 अक्टूबर 2018 का प्रेस रिलीज था. That press release says that GSTR 2A is just for the purpose of convenience of taxpayer. प्रेस रिलीज आया था. बट आज क्या हो रहा है? For 17, 18, 18, 19, if your 3B and 2A is not matching, आपको नोटिस इश्यू कर देते हैं. And you know, in first 2 years, there were a lot of issues. Taxpayer return time पे नहीं भरते थे, technical issues थे. But this is another ground for ASMT 10. Third ground, taxpayer has claimed ITC of IGST. Import किया, उस पर जो IGST पे किया उसने ITC claim किया. That is not matching with 2A. आज भी नहीं हो रहा है. If you see many import IGST आज भी होते नहीं, आपको fetch करनी पड़ती है. So you may claim in this month, it may appear in your 2B next month. Many times IceGate पे भी प्रॉब्लम है. Courier bill of entry आज भी लिंक नहीं हुई है. But still, you will be issued notice and you will have to reply. 16(4) violation. ये भी एक बहुत लाइव स्टोरी है. मैंने सर से परचेस किया गुड्स. I have got all evidence. For some reason, सर ने रिटर्न लेट फाइल किया. रह गया, जेन्युइनली रह गया सर से. And he has filed belatedly after September of next financial year. Whether department can deny my ITC, इसके ऊपर भी रेगुलर नोटिसेस आ रही है. RCM लायबिलिटी, अगर आप GSTR 2A में आपके वेंडर जो रजिस्टर्ड है बट दे आर रेंडरिंग सर्विसेज जिसपे टैक्स आपको भरना है ऑन रिवर्स चार्ज, तो आपके 2A में ऐसे आइटम्स आती है. दे आर मैचिंग दिस विथ 3B. 2A में दिख रहा है, आपने 3B में नहीं भरा, पेड टैक्स. नाउ फ्रेंड्स, genuinely such mismatch is possible. अज्यूम कर लीजिए एक ट्रांसपोर्टर से मैंने व्हीकल लिया था, वो ट्रांसपोर्टर रजिस्टर्ड था, तो उसने 2A में लायबिलिटी दिखा दी मेरी RCM. Am I supposed to pay? Answer is yes, but I am supposed to pay as per time of supply provision. That time of supply provision says I am supposed to pay tax the time of payment or on 61st day from invoice date, whichever is later. तो मैंने मार्च में ट्रांसपोर्ट सर्विस अवेल की है, बट आई हैव पेड टू माय ट्रांसपोर्टर इन द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल, तो मैं टैक्स भी भरूंगा इन द मंथ ऑफ अप्रैल. बट मेरे 2A में कब दिख रहा है? मार्च में. ऑफिसर में से देयर इज अ डिस्क्रिपेंसी एंड यू विल हैव टू रिप्लाई सच डिस्क्रिपेंसी. Many taxpayers, they have not paid interest. कार परचेस कर लिया, 2A में आ गया तो क्रेडिट ले लिया, बिकॉज नाउ 2A इज सेक्रोस्टेंट. 2A में जो आया उसे क्रेडिट ले लेते हैं, बराबर है. डिपार्टमेंट कैन इजीली मेक आउट ये कार है, बिकॉज दे नो GSTN से मालूम पड़ जाएगा किस तरह का है, तो ये ब्लॉक क्रेडिट अवेल कर ली, तो उसके लिए नोटिस आ रही है. आई हैव सीन मेनी केसेस जहां टैक्सपेयर डिस्क्लोज एग्जाम सप्लाई एग्जाम दिखा रहे हैं, लेकिन ITC रिवर्स नहीं कर रहे. सो दैट इज अनदर रीजन फॉर डिस्क्रिपेंसी. ये दो अगेन बड़े हेडेक है. You claim ITC, but vendor on whose invoice you are claiming ITC has cancelled his registration from backdated effect. बहुत सारे लोगों का 2017 से रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो चुका है, and we have purchased goods from them in the year of 2019. And department is saying this all are NGTP, non-genuine taxpayers. और अगर आपके 2A में उनका कोई क्रेडिट दिख रहा है, you will get notices. बहुत सारे वेंडर ऐसे थे इनिशियली जिन्होंने 1 ही भरा, 3 भरा ही नहीं कभी. देवर इतने ईमानदार थे कि लायबिलिटी डिस्क्लोज करते थे, कभी पे नहीं करते थे. अगर ऐसी कोई क्रेडिट आपके 2A में दिख रही है, अगेन यू विल गेट नोटिसेस. ये बहुत लाइव है, आज के दिन में ये बहुत हो रहा है. डिपार्टमेंट इसके पीछे ही पड़ा हो.
Person has I purchased from you. There was a 1 lakh liability on me, on you. You filed your 3B. Sir told me that he has filed, but his invoice is fraudulent. He accepted that he has issued the fraudulent. What should be?
So sir is asking raising a situation where his vendor has paid tax, but out of bogus ITC. Correct? Now sir is raising a question whether in this situation ITC availed by sir, is it valid or it is invalid ITC? Correct sir? Sir, 16(2)(c का कंडीशन क्या बोलता है कि गवर्नमेंट शुड गेट एप्लीकेबल टैक्स ऑन दैट सप्लाई. करेक्ट? अब आपकी जो सप्लाई इनवर्ट सप्लाई है उस पर गवर्नमेंट को टैक्स मिला क्या? आपके वेंडर ने जो सप्लाई आपको दिखाई उसी की बात हो रही है. 100 रुपए का परचेस किया था, 18 रुपए GST था. That 18 rupees GST has been paid out of bogus ITC. तो जो आपके वेंडर का ITC बोगस है, तो आपका ITC भी बाय डिफॉल्ट बोगस ही आएगा. सर सर इसका मैं आंसर इतना सिंपल नहीं है. डिपेंडिंग अपॉन फैक्ट्स आपको स्टैंड लेना पड़ेगा. मेनी टाइम्स व्हाट हैज हैपेंड, देयर इज अ जेन्युइन परचेज, गुड्स आया है आपके पास, सब कुछ आपके पास आया हुआ है, लेकिन सामने वाले की वेंडर की नीयत खराब थी, उसने टैक्स नहीं भरा एंड नाउ चला गया डिपार्टमेंट के पास, उसने डिक्लेरेशन दे दिया. that is one type of situation. Another situation जहां for some reason client has willingly indulged into such transaction. दो possibilities है. एक genuine transaction है, टैक्स नहीं भरा है, वेंडर का मिस्टेक है, और दूसरा जहां आपके क्लाइंट ने कोई कारण सर ये सब किया था, मे बी XYZ रीजन. डिपेंडिंग अपॉन फैक्ट्स ऑफ योर केस, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन रिस्क एपेटाइट, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन क्वांटम ऑफ टैक्स इन्वॉल्व, आपको कॉल लेना पड़ेगा. अगर आपको ITC पड़ा है तो रिवर्स कर लो, मगजमारी खत्म हो जाएगी. लेकिन जेन्युइन केस है आपका, तो बेटर टू फाइट इट आउट. सो कोई सिंपल प्लेन वेलिना रिप्लाई पॉसिबल नहीं होगा, बट आपको जाके आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स चेक करने पड़ेंगे. एंड आई विल टच बेस दिस इश्यू वंस अगेन व्हेन आई विल बी ऑन सोकोज नोटिस, बिकॉज सोकोज पे पेनल्टी भी डिफरेंट है, तो हम वापस इसको वहां टच बेस करेंगे. Three. Yes.
In that case, what
So, madam, legal. I will explain what could be the legal stand for claiming ITC. You should satisfy condition of section 16(2). 4 condition. सबसे पहला, you must have received goods or service, which has been done in your case. You must be having invoice also, original invoice, that has been done. Third, applicable tax on such inward supply must have been paid into government treasury. This is third condition. Whether that condition is getting fulfilled. Fine. So madam is saying that even if there is a default, that default has been committed by vendor and not by me. Point taken. I will come back on this. ISD का ITC मैच नहीं हुआ है. ISD आपके जो टैक्स पेयर ISD यूनिट में है, और उन्होंने जो ITC अवेल किया है वो करस्पॉन्डिंग ISD की सप्लाई रिटर्न से मैच नहीं हो रहा है. ये भी एक नया स्टोरी चालू हुआ है, पहले नहीं था ये. If your client is supplying online, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर के थ्रू सप्लाई करते हैं, तो they deduct something called TDS या TCS. So they compare nowadays value disclosed in TDS against your GSTN vis-a-vis sales you have shown in your GSTR1. So GSTR1 vis-a-vis GSTR7 check करते हैं, and if there is discrepancy, you get notices. Now friends, these two can never match. I will disclose supply when I'm making sale. E-commerce operator will deduct TDS when he's making payment to me, and there is a time gap between this. मैंने हो सकता है इस महीने सप्लाई किया, लेकिन मुझे फ्लिपकार्ट नेक्स्ट महीना पेमेंट देगा और नेक्स्ट महीने TDS डिडक्ट करेगा. बट ये सब नोटिस आती है, आपको हर एक नोटिस को समझना पड़ेगा, एंड फैक्चुअली यू विल हैव टू रिप्लाई. व्हाट इज द टाइम लिमिट टू इश्यू नोटिस? साइलेंट है, बट ये सबका टाइम लिमिट एक है, सोकोस का टाइम लिमिट. So you will have to govern by that SOCOS का time limit, which you will see in some time from now. Can you ask opportunity of being heard in person? Rule silent है. As such, pasteless जैसा ये भी है, online ही submit करना है. But authorities don't mind if you go there and explain your case. They are more than happy. खाली बोलेंगे पूरा फाइल लेके आना, so that they don't have to take print out. Otherwise, they listen you out. But as a matter of right, you cannot ask opportunity of being heard in such. Madam, the question था. So we are on a question. If ITC is not appearing in GSTR 2A, should I ask my client to pay tax, or we should fight out? And I have said there is no plain vanilla answer to this. Madam, in your case, DY Bethel, Madras High Court has said that if taxpayer, vendor has not paid tax, department should first try to recover tax from vendor. If they fail in recovering from vendor, then definitely they can come to your client. You can definitely raise this issue, but that will not absolve you from your liability. अगर वेंडर ने नहीं पे किया तो अल्टीमेटली आपसे डिपार्टमेंट रिकवर करेगा. वेरियस जजमेंट्स हैं, इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट, छत्तीसगढ़ पालको जजमेंट, त्रिपुरा हाई कोर्ट, साइल एंटरप्राइज. Various judgment says that just because ITC is not appearing in 2A, department cannot recover tax from vendor. So all these judgments are good judgments. I am not denying. It is for the benefit of taxpayer. But friends, when you are on ASMT 10 stage, you can make alternate arguments of all these judgments. आप करिए, कोई ना नहीं बोल रहा है. भारतीय एयरटेल का जजमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट का है. Very clearly says that 2A is just a facilitator. 2A के बेसिस पे आपको ITC मिलेगा या नहीं मिलेगा डिसाइड नहीं होगा. Because GST is based on concept of self assessment. आपको आपके बुक्स मेंटेन करने हैं, आपको आपका खुद लायबिलिटी वर्कआउट करना है, खुद ITC क्लेम करना है, and whatever balance is there you will have to pay. 2A is just a facility. That's what Supreme Court says in भारतीय एयरटेल. तो ये सब चीजें हैं, जजमेंट्स आप कोट कर सकते हो, बट मेक ऑल दिस एज अल्टरनेटिव सबमिशन. आपका मेन सबमिशन क्या होना चाहिए? Whatever discrepancy has been alleged, please bring out facts. क्या फैक्ट्स है? एटलीस्ट फैक्ट्स क्लियर करवा लीजिए. लड़ने के लिए सोकोस है, लड़ लेंगे, बट राइट नाउ जो बेसिक क्लियर होना चाहिए वो आप कर लीजिए, बिकॉज सोको स्टेज पे बेसिक क्लियर करने नहीं मिलता. कौन से वेंडर का बाकी है, क्या इश्यूज है, ऑल दिस थिंग्स इफ यू ब्रिंग आउट, दैट विल हेल्प यू एट सब्सिक्वेंट स्टेज. तो ये सब जजमेंट्स हैं, मैं ना नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, बट ASMT 10 का इंटेंशन समझिए. आप जो फैक्ट्स है आपके केस के वो लाइमलाइट में ला दीजिए. दैट विल हेल्प यू ड्यूरिंग सब्सिक्वेंट प्रोसीडिंग्स. (16(4) ये एक बड़ा स्टोरी है. हमने अब ये केस एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं. मिस्टर एक्स हैज परचेज गुड्स फ्रॉम मिस्टर वाई इन अप्रैल 2020. जेन्युइन गुड्स आए हैं, कोई हवाला नहीं है इसके अंदर. जो इनवॉइस भी है इनके पास, गुड्स भी आए हुए हैं, लेकिन मिस्टर वाई ने GSTR 1 फाइल नहीं किया. मे बी नंबर कैंसिल होगा वगैरह का, मे बी CA ने ध्यान नहीं दिया, व्हाटएवर रीजन, ही हैज नॉट फाइल्ड रिटर्न इन टाइम. सब्सिक्वेंटली व्हेन आई पुश्ड हिम टू मच कि भाई मेरे 2A में दिख नहीं रहा है, मेरा CA चिल्ला रहा है, तो उसने अल्टीमेटली नवंबर 21 में रिटर्न फाइल किया डिस्क्लोजिंग दिस ट्रांजैक्शन. मिस्टर एक्स ने ITC अप्रैल में क्लेम कर लिया जब परचेस हुआ. वाई ने ट्रांजैक्शन दिखाया नहीं था, वाई ने दिखाया ट्रांजैक्शन इन नवंबर 21. नवंबर 21 आफ्टर सितंबर ऑफ नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर. अप्रैल 20 का नेक्स्ट इसका सितंबर खत्म होगा, सितंबर 21 उसके बाद दिखाया है. तो क्या एक्स को क्रेडिट मिलेगा? दैट्स अ डिस्प्यूट. टू माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग एक्स शुड गेट क्रेडिट. X should get credit, no doubt on this, because even though Y has committed default, for that default he has paid interest, for that default he has paid late fees, and fact remains that government has collected tax on this transaction. Once tax has been collected, can government say sorry, since Mr. Y has not done compliance in time, I will not give you ITC? To my understanding, no. But department is taking a stand that in such situation 16(4) will be triggered and notices आ जाती है और आपको डिमांड क्रिएट करवा दिया जाए. Now this is not a correct interpretation of law, and all these issues makes GST a spicier law, I will say. Or a live issue. You know, you can't file GSTR 3B unless applicable tax has been paid in full. आप आधा आधा नहीं भर सकते हो, आधा भरोगे तो भी 3B नहीं भर पाओगे. Now in this situation, taxpayer का liability 5 lakh rupees है. Taxpayer agrees that his liability is 5 lakh rupees. He has paid 2 lakh rupees on 20th January. He has paid 50,000 on 25th January. 1.5 lakh on 26th January. Balance on 27th January. ऐसे 4 इंस्टॉलमेंट पेमेंट किया. And then he filed his return on 28th January 2022. Due date was 20th January. He has filed on 28th January. In this situation, whether taxpayer is supposed to pay interest for delay between 20th June to 20th Jan to 28th Jan, इसका क्या interest भरेगा? Or he will say, sorry, on 20 lakh, on this file 2 lakh rupees I have paid in time, so why should I pay interest? For this I have paid, there is a delay of only 5 days. For this there is delay of 6 days, and for this there is delay of 7 days. Taxpayer say कि ये मैं different इस पे टैक्स मैंने डिले किया है, उतना मैं इंटरेस्ट भरूंगा. या you are of the view that since GSTR 3B is filed only on 28 January 2022, आपका जो liability ledger और credit ledger जो मैच हुआ है वो 28 जनवरी को ही हुआ है. So you will pay tax, you will pay interest for 8 days, or you will say, sorry, I will not pay. 8 days. Sir is saying 8 days. Logically, for this, there should not be any interest. Because I have paid into government account. Correct? Though I have not appropriated, but that is more of a formality rather than substance. But department is collecting interest for all 8 days on 5 lakh rupees. Taxpayers are resisting. So you know what will happen. Sir, if you see judgments, judgments are very clear that you are supposed to pay only on net liability for applicable number of days only. Judgments आ चुके हैं. नहीं जज मद्रास हाईकोर्ट का भी जो लेटेस्ट जजमेंट आया, इट इज वेरी क्लियर दैट यू नीड टू पे ओनली फॉर एक्चुअल डिले. अगर आपने पेमेंट कर दिया, अप्रोप्रिएट नहीं कर पाए, क्वाइट पॉसिबल है सर, अगर आपकी लायबिलिटी 5 करोड़ की है, 5 करोड़ रुपया नहीं है, तो यू विल पे ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. व्हेन यू आर पेइंग इनटू गवर्नमेंट ट्रेजरी, गवर्नमेंट के पास पैसा जा चुका है, उसके पास उसके ब्याज कैसे ले सकते हैं? लॉजिकल है. बट ऑफ कोर्स डिपार्टमेंट हैज देयर आर्गुमेंट, वी हैव आवर ओन, एंड लिटिगेशन विल कंटिन्यू. अगर एसएमटी 10 आया तो करना क्या है? सबसे पहले रोज पोर्टल चेक करना, बिकॉज ये लिटिगेशन चालू कब होगा ये मालूम ही नहीं है. बिलीव मी फ्रेंड्स, इन मैनी केसेस proceedings has gone up to DRC 1, that is so-called stage. Taxpayer को मालूम भी नहीं है. Nothing. It is only on portal. बहुत सारे taxpayer ने आज भी चेक नहीं किया हुआ, and they might not be knowing that so-called issue हो चुका है उनके केस में. So first and foremost, periodically you will have to first check portal. If notice has been served on you, see that you file reply within given time limit. Whatever is the allegation against you, burden to reply that allegation is always on taxpayer. हमें नहीं बोल सकते नोटिस गलत है. नोटिस गलत भी रहेगा तो भी आपको सही रिप्लाई देना पड़ेगा. If you feel that there is a genuine error, आपको लगता है कि कई बार हमने देखा है क्लाइंट ने 2 बार इंपोर्ट का जीएसटी क्रेडिट ले लिया, तो जेन्युइन एरर है. अगर ऐसा कुछ है, बेटर टू पे विथ एप्लीकेबल इंटरेस्ट. Don't stretch, because the moment you land up in so-called notice stage, you will be liable to even pay penalty. अभी पे कर दिया तो टैक्स इंटरेस्ट से निकल जाओ. सो अगेन ऑन अ फैक्ट टू फैक्ट बेसिस आपको सोचना पड़ेगा कि भाई घर के बाहर निकलना है क्या लड़ना है. एक्सप्लेन फैक्ट्स, जो आपके फैक्ट्स है एक्सप्लेन करिए. ये मत सोचिए आंसर क्या आने वाला है, वो तो मालूम है आंसर क्या आने वाला है, बट एटलीस्ट यू एक्सप्लेन योर फैक्ट्स. Whenever you submit this reply, always consider possibility that this ASMT 10 may convert into SOCOS notice. तो आपको क्या बताना है और क्या छुपाना है वो आपको आना चाहिए. SOCOS नोटिस के पहले अपना पूरा डिफेंस दे देना है या थोड़ा ही बताना है, दैट इज एन आर्ट. आपको क्या बताना है क्या नहीं बताना है आपको डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा. इफ यू प्ले गेम ऑफ कार्ड्स विथ ऑल योर कार्ड्स ओपन, there is a great chance that you may lose out your game. So keep cards close to your chest, but answer. अब कैसे होगा ये आर्ट. That completes my understanding about ASMT 10.
मान लीजिए वो 1 साल 2 साल नहीं किया, 16 17 18 में वो नॉलेज नहीं थी, 18 19 को और बाद में कर दिया, लेकिन डिपार्टमेंट उसकी लड़का इंटरेस्ट वगैरह.
Okay, so sir is raising a situation where taxpayer was rendering exempt supply. There were some common credits, and those common credits needs to be reversed under Rule 42 or 43, but that has not been done. Subsequently, it came to the knowledge of taxpayer, and he has reversed. He has reversed. He might have filed DRC 03, whatever. Up, sir is giving one more fact that those credits which were wrongly availed, reverse नहीं किया, avail ही किया है, were never utilized. Whether sir is supposed to pay interest. Legally, you're right, but department is taking a stand that this legal position is clarified only by way of press release. Even today, law has not been amended, and both center as well as state, they are issuing SOCOS notice. वो अपना, they are trying to protect their interest by issuing SOCOS notice. SOCOS notice ले लेने का, reply file कर देने का, adjudication के लिए pending रखने का. Because जब law amend हो जाएगा, ये law amend तो होगा maybe by June. Already Finance Act तो pass हो चुका है, correct? But unless it is approved by other states also, notification नहीं आएगा. Notification may come somewhere around June. Till that, just submit a reply. Don't press for adjudication. The moment law gets amended, ask officer to drop SOCOS notice. That's the only solution. Now let me handle something called voluntary payment. अब हम लोग बहुत बार इनकम टैक्स से प्रिजुडाइज हो जाते हैं, and we try to read GST based on our understanding of income tax. Correct? But both are different law. Please appreciate. In fact, दोनों का बेसिक्स ही अलग है. दोनों का बेसिक बहुत अलग है. तो पहले समझते हैं what do you mean by voluntary payments? आपने रिटर्न में फाइल किया, that is voluntary payment, no doubt on this. Whatever you have paid by your DRC 03 at the time of audit, it is voluntary payment, no problem. आपके केस में ASMT 10 नोटिस इश्यू हुआ है और उसके बाद आपने पेमेंट किया, is it voluntary or it is pursuant to notice? How many says it is voluntary? So rest are saying it is pursuant to notice. Sorry sir, unless SOCOS notice issue हुआ आपके केस में, जो भी पेमेंट आप करते हो all are voluntary. Your ASMT 10, your DRC 1A, ये सब इंटीमेशन है, ये नोटिस नहीं है. सर्विस सेक्शन में बहुत क्लियर प्रोविजन था इसी के ऊपर कि जब तक SOCOS नहीं आया प्रोसीडिंग चालू ही नहीं हुई है. SOCOS आ गया, प्रोसीडिंग चालू हो गई. उसके पहले का जो भी स्टेज है, दिस इज ऑल वॉलंटरी पेमेंट्स. एंड इफ यू आर मेकिंग वॉलंटरी पेमेंट्स, you are eligible for concession as far as penalty is concerned. Fine. So what is voluntary payment? any voluntary payment made by taxpayer, including payment made after issuance of ASMT 10 or a next step DRC 1A. उसके बाद भी अगर मैंने कोई पेमेंट किया, that is voluntary. But once SOCOS notice issue हो गए DRC 1, उसके बाद जो पेमेंट किया, that is not voluntary. Now let us read, थोड़ा फास्ट रीड कर लेंगे. ये 3 सेक्शन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Throughout GST, सेक्शन 73 एंड 74, ये आपको बार बार रीड करना है, ये हार्ट है. और जिसने सर्विस टैक्स या सेंट्रल एक्साइज प्रैक्टिस किया है, दे नो similar provision was there in service tax 73 and 73(1) proviso. यहाँ 73, 74 तो अलग सेक्शन कर दिया, वहां प्रोवाइजो था, तो यही कॉपी हुआ है, ऑलमोस्ट सेम है. 73(5) is very important provision. I am reading out for you. Person chargeable with tax may before service of notice. Notice means SOCOS notice, not ASMT 10, not DRC 1A. Person chargeable with tax may before service of notice under subsection 1, or as the case may be statement under subsection 3, pay amount of tax along with interest payable thereon under section 50 on the basis of his ascertainment of such tax or tax as determined by proper officer and inform the proper officer in writing of such payment. And this section ये बोलता है कि before issuance of SOCOS notice, taxpayer अपने आप या as informed by proper officer can make tax payment along with interest. And if such payment has been made, he is supposed to issue or he is supposed to inform proper officer about such voluntary payment by filing DRC 03. अगर मैंने voluntary payment किया तो क्या फायदा होगा? That is under 73(6). Proper officer on receipt of such information about voluntary payment shall not serve any notice under subsection 1, or as the case may be statement under subsection 3 in respect of tax so paid or any penalty leviable under the provision of this act or the rules made thereunder. यानी अगर मैंने टैक्स वॉलंटरी पेमेंट कर दिया या ऑफिसर ने बोला उतना ही मैंने पेमेंट कर दिया विथ इंटरेस्ट, ऑन दैट काउंट, ऑन दैट अमाउंट, डिपार्टमेंट कैन नॉट इश्यू SOCOS नोटिस. अगर मैंने कोई वॉलंटरी पेमेंट कर दिया है विथ इंटरेस्ट, बहुत बार टैक्स पेयर बोलते हैं खाली इंटरेस्ट टैक्स भर देता हूं, इंटरेस्ट बाद में भरूंगा. नो, दैट देन यू आर नॉट एलिजिबल फॉर एग्जेम्पशन. अगर आपने टैक्स और इंटरेस्ट भर दिया है, you are actually preventing officer from issuing SOCOS notice. I will read further 73 subsection 7. Where proper officer is of the opinion that amount paid under subsection 5 falls short. 100 रुपए भरना था, आपने 80 भरा, तो officer has got right to issue SOCOS notice for that balance. 80 के लिए कुछ नहीं कर पाएगा. So wherever you feel that you are not on a very strong grounds, जहाँ लगता है कि भाई अपना विकेट ढीला है, वहां क्लाइंट को बोलने का भाई टैक्स और इंटरेस्ट पे करके आगे बढ़ जाए. Wherever you are, you fight it out. क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Yes sir.
One is issued to me for 100 rupees. I have paid 80.
Okay.
Then whether that one is defective?
See, you can always ask for rectification, because once you have paid 80, on that 80 they cannot issue SOCOS notice.
Agreed. But if he has issued for 100, and it will become defective, and whether improvement in SCN is allowed.
Yeah, addendum is always allowed. Addendum is always allowed.
But improvement is allowed.
Yes. You can refer 161. 161, you can ask officer to rectify such notices or orders. Like we have 154 in income tax. We have similar provision in GST, rectification of order, demand, notice, everything. हमने जो 3 सबसेक्शन चेक किए, 73(4), 73(6), 73(7), 5, 6, 7, इसका करस्पॉन्डिंग रूल है रूल 142 सब रूल 2. For paucity of time, I am not reading, but it conveys same meaning. It says that if tax has been paid with interest, officer should not issue so cause notice. Till now, we have seen A7010 and we have seen voluntary payments. Now let's handle something called pre-so cause notice. So cause notice के पहले वाला stage is called pre-so cause notice. Now friends, ये क्यों है? Yes sir. No. If you see, as far as the interest is concerned, you have to pay in cash. Penalty is concerned, you have to pay in cash. Rest, if you have got eligible credits, you can always pay. 49 is very clear on this. Now pre-so cause. ये pre-so cause क्यों आया? Service tax में why this provision was introduced? As I have told you, so cause notice has got certain stigma attached with it. Penalty साथ में आती है so cause notice के साथ. Department felt that one more opportunity, one more window should be given to taxpayer, so that if they wish, they pay tax and avoid so cause notice. That was the holistic intention of pre-so cause notice. अब वो कितना सही होता है, I will not get into this, but that was the intention. Now ये pre-so cause का provision GST में day 1 से नहीं है. It was introduced only on 9th October 2019. उससे पहले ऐसा कोई provision नहीं था. उससे पहले इतना litigation भी नहीं आया रहेगा, कोई order भी बने नहीं रहेंगे, तो we can ignore. Now let's read 142(1)(a). This rule talks about obligation of proper officer to issue pre-so cause notice. Proper officer may, पहले वर्ड shall था, shall को हटा के 2020 में इसको may कर दिया. The proper officer may, before service of notice to person chargeable with tax, interest and penalty, under subsection 1 of section 73 or subsection 1 of section 74, as the case may be, communicate the details of any tax, interest and penalty as ascertained by said officer in part A of form GST DRC 01. यानी इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि so cause notice देने के पहले ऑफिसर शुड इशू DRC 1A और उसके अंदर उस DRC 1A में whatever tax, interest, penalty he is proposing to collect from taxpayer should be disclosed. यानी ऐसा ना हो कि डिपार्टमेंट क्लाइंट को मालूम ही नहीं कितना भरना है. एटलीस्ट इन DRC 1A they will tell you this is your liability of tax, liability of interest, liability and liability of penalty. Now ये may shall से कुछ फर्क पड़ेगा? Courts are very clear that even after replacement of shall by may, DRC 1A is compulsory. आप ऑफिसर को DRC 1A इश्यू करना पड़ेगा. That is compulsory. इनफैक्ट इनबिल्ट मॉडल्स भी ऐसे ही बनाए हैं कि जिससे आपको DRC 1A इश्यू करना पड़ेगा. अगर आपके केस में DRC 1A इश्यू हुआ है, you got various choices. First choice you can ignore. I don't want to participate in this issue. Possible. Second, you want to participate. Participation can be either by accepting liability and making taxes or by furnishing a reply. आपको reply furnish करना है, you can furnish reply in part B of DRC 1B. DRC 1A, उसी का part B में आपको reply फाइल करना है. तो आपके पास choice है, either you ignore, if you wish to make some payment, you can make payment because still it is voluntary payment. Or third, you may submit your own reply saying that आपने जो stand लिया है मुझे agree नहीं है for XYZ reason. Only one caution. pre-so cause के टाइम पे उतना ही बताइए जितना जरूरी है. Don't disclose all your defense. और अपने का क्या क्या डिफेंड है वो सब बताना नहीं है. अदरवाइज ऑफिसर स्मार्ट इनफ होते हैं, वो सो कोज ऐसा बनाएंगे क्या यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू डिफेंड योरसेल्फ. इनकम टैक्स में सो कोज एकदम एंड में आता है. करेक्ट? एकदम एंड में सो कोज आता है. जीएसटी या सर्विस टैक्स में सोकोस से ही तो सब शुरुआत होती है. I hope you will appreciate difference between these two. So don't disclose all your cards when you reply to pre-SOCOS. But of course, bring out your facts. ये बेसिक आपको फॉलो करना पड़ेगा. बहुत सारे अकाउंटेंट अपने पास आते हैं, सर તમે તો લખ્યું જ નથી રિપ્લાયમાં, પણ अगर मैं अभी रिप्लाई दे दूंगा वैसा तो फिर मैं सोकोस में रिप्लाई क्या दूंगा. Officers also they deal with this on a daily basis, so they also make out what could be our possible reply, and accordingly they try to preempt us. सर्विस टैक्स में अगर आपने ध्यान दिया रहेगा तो ऑफिसर्स आर स्मार्ट इनफ टू प्रीएम्प्ट यू. तो आपको जो रिप्लाई देना है उस पर इतना केयर लेना है कि सब कुछ मत बताइए. अभी इसमें एक इशू है, ये जो DRC 1A का जो मॉड्यूल है उसमें प्रॉब्लम ये है, even if officer feels that your reply is proper, officer cannot close it. वो कर ही नहीं पा रहा है, तो वो क्या करता है, even if your reply is proper, he is agreeing with your reply, he will issue 1. A gross violation, because 1 यानी सोकोस आ गया. 1 is सोकोस आ गया, तो सोकोस के साथ जो स्टिग्मा है वो सब आने वाले मेरे साथ. बट आज भी ये हो रहा है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई आपके बहुत सारे क्लाइंटों में 1 आपको आ गया रहेगा, और 1 आने के बाद आपके पास ऑप्शंस कम हो जाते हैं. Now let's see what is 1 and 2. DRC 1 and DRC 02. What is SOCOS? कोई भी एक्ट में SOCOS क्या होता है? SOCOS is a notice in which department will explain what is a legal situation. Department will raise what all allegations against you. Department will tell, look, you have done this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. For this violation, you will have to pay this much amount as tax, this much amount as interest, this much amount as penalty. That is SOCOS. तो SOCOS issue कब होगा आपके क्लाइंट के सामने? When departmental officer has right to issue SOCOS notice. I will say that is decided by section 73(1) or 74(1). हम right now यहाँ concentrate करते हैं, इसको एक बार छोड़ देते हैं. SOCOS दो प्रकार की है, नॉर्मल SOCOS, एक extended period SOCOS. Normal SOCOS, extended period SOCOS. We are focusing right now on normal SOCOS. When normal SOCOS can be issued? Where it appears to the proper officer. Reason to believe, reason of ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. क्या लिखा है? Where it appears to the proper officer. जब उसको ऐसा लगता है तब. That any tax has not been paid. Any tax has been short paid. या तो भरा ही नहीं गया है या कम भरा गया. Any tax has been erroneously refunded. गलत रिफंड दे दिया गया आपको. Where ITC has been wrongly availed or ITC has been wrongly utilized for any reason other than reason of fraud or any willful misstatement or suppression of facts to evade tax. यानी ये पांचों में से कोई भी एक चीज हुई है, and this is on account of reason other than fraud, other than suppression, other than misstatement, willful misstatement. Department officer can issue SOCOS under section 73(1). तो 74 में कब इश्यू करेंगे? ये सब सेम है, बट यहाँ क्या आएगा? बाय रीजन ऑफ फ्रॉड, बाय रीजन ऑफ विलफुल मिसस्टेटमेंट, बाय रीजन ऑफ सप्रेशन. सो अगर मेरी मानवीय भूल हुई और मैंने टैक्स नहीं भरा, human error, and I have not paid tax or I have short paid tax, then it will come under 73(1). But I was intelligent enough to devise a system whereby I have not paid tax, then that will come under 74(1). Now demarcation बहुत thin है. ये मेरे वेंडर है, उनसे मैंने परचेस किया, उन्होंने रिटर्न नहीं फाइल किया. मेरे ये वेंडर है, उन्होंने भी रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया, लेकिन उनका रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो चुका. इनका रजिस्ट्रेशन लाइव है, इनका रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हो चुका है. डिपार्टमेंट कैन वेरी वेल से कि ये जो मैटर है ना, ये 74 में टैक्स सेम है, दोनों ने टैक्स नहीं भरा है, बट यहाँ डिपार्टमेंट विल से कि यू आर द किंग पिन. आपने जानबूझ के ऐसे वेंडर से परचेस किया है जिन्होंने टैक्स भरना ही नहीं था कभी, एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू आर कमिंग अंडर 74. सो हेड थिंग डिफरेंस है. डिपार्टमेंट हमेशा आपको यहाँ लेके जाएगा और हमें हमेशा यहाँ रहना. और ये लिटिगेशन सर्विस टैक्स में भी था ही, एक्साइज में भी था ही, यहाँ भी आएगा. अब क्या फर्क पड़ता है? सोकोस तो इसमें भी आता है, इसमें भी आता है. Why I am saying that we should restrict our case to 73(1) and should not, ensure that we should ensure that our case never comes under 74(1). ऐसा क्यों? तो रीजन, दोनों के कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस अलग है, दोनों के टाइम लिमिट भी अलग है, असेसमेंट के, ऑर्डर के, पेनल्टी कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस भी अलग है. सो लेट अस सी वन बाय वन. What is the time limit for issuance of notice and issuance of adjudication order for normal SOCOs? जहां human error है. For human error, time limit for issuance of SOCOs notice is 2 years and 9 months from due date of filing annual return. 2 years and 9 months from due date of filing annual return. एंड असेसमेंट का टाइम कंप्लीट करने का जो टाइम है वो है 3 years फ्रॉम ड्यू डेट ऑफ फाइलिंग एनुअल रिटर्न. आपको मालूम है 17-18 का ड्यू डेट क्या था एनुअल रिटर्न का? एनीवन रिमेंबर्स? 5th February 2020. दैट वाज द फाइनल डेट. उसके बाद एक्सटेंशन नहीं आया, बहुत बार एक्सटेंशन आया, 8-10 बार एक्सटेंशन आ चुका था. तो फाइनल डेट इज फॉर महाराष्ट्र इट इज 5th February 2020. यानी 17-18 का सोकोस इश्यू करना है, नॉर्मल सोकोस. दैट विल बी ड्यू ऑन 4th November 2022, इसी साल. उसके बाद नॉर्मल सोकोस इश्यू नहीं कर पाए. डिपार्टमेंट में ट्राई टू पुट यू इन एक्सटेंडेड पीरियड, दैट इज डिफरेंट स्टोरी, बट नॉर्मल सोकोस के लिए टाइम लिमिट खत्म होने वाला इसी साल. और उसका एजुकेशन कंप्लीट करने के लिए टाइम लिमिट है 4th February 2023. उसके बाद दे कैन नॉट एजुडिकेट. इन सर्विस टैक्स ऐसा कोई अपर लिमिट नहीं था फॉर एजुकेशन इज कंसर्न. कितनी बार हियरिंग कर लो, ऑर्डर ही नहीं आता सर्विस टैक्स में. करेक्ट? इन GST there is upper limit for issuance of SOCOs, there is upper limit for even issuance of adjudication order. So आप मान के चलिए this year you will have lot of notices before 4th November and your lot of time will be invested in adjudication process before 4th February 2023 because उनका एक time limit complete हो रहा है. In case of refund, time limit is same, 2 years 9 months, but it will be from date of refund. For order, 3 years from date of refund. But if department can prove that tax has not been paid, short paid, etc., is on account of fraud, willful misstatement, suppression, etc., then your case will come under 74. Under 74, time limit, which was earlier 2 years and 9 months, will be increased to 4 years and 6 months. Time limit बढ़ जाएगा and department last moment पे जागता है notice issue करने के लिए. Correct? So department will always try to put you here. Further, for adjudication, time limit 3 years will be increased to 5 years. So पहला notice का period, notice issue करने का right इनके पास ज्यादा आ जाता है. Second, penalties are different. I will spend more time on this. This is all what I'm going to discuss here. Depending upon what stage you are paying tax, there can be penalty in GST. दो सिचुएशन कवर कर लेते हैं so that we can understand this. Situation number 1. For some reason, your client has claimed excess ITC. ज्यादा क्लेम कर लिया. अज्यूम कर लीजिए कि एक परचेज ट्वाइस बुक हो गया था और उसका ITC क्लेम कर लिया. और दूसरा सिचुएशन लेते हैं, मैंने ITC क्लेम किया है फ्रॉम वेंडर हु इज एब्सकॉन्डिंग, भाग गए, NGTP डिक्लेयर हो चुका है. सिचुएशन क्लियर है? दोनों में मैंने ITC एक्स्ट्रा ही क्लेम किया है, but in one situation it is because of certain error I have accounted that purchase twice and I have claimed ITC. Second situation, I am claiming ITC from a vendor who is absconding right now. Now नोटिस आपके पास आ चुकी है, सोकोस नोटिस या सोकोस नोटिस से जाने वाला है. Let us see what will be your advice. Do you agree double booking of purchase will come in normal situation? Normal situation without any mens rea. But your second situation जहां आपने परचेस किया है, जो वेंडर एब्सकॉन्डिंग है, that will come under 74 with mens rea. Any doubt here? Are you okay with this 73-74 understanding? अब आपने डबल ITC क्लेम कर लिया. If you pay tax with interest before issuance of SOCOS notice, then no penalty. कोई पेनल्टी नहीं आएगा. Even if you pay within 30 days of issuance of SOCOS notice, still no penalty. So you have two windows, additional windows, where you can pay tax and interest and still you can run away from penalty in normal situation. But SOCOS notice issue हो चुके हैं, आपने टैक्स नहीं भरा, इवन ऑर्डर आपके अगेंस्ट हो गया और 30 डेज हो चुके हैं, आपने टैक्स नहीं भरा है. इन दैट सिचुएशन आपको टैक्स तो भरना ही है, इंटरेस्ट तो भरना ही है, बट यू विल बी ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्ड टू पे पेनल्टी. दैट पेनल्टी विल बी 10% ऑफ टैक्स और 10,000 whichever is higher. तो यहाँ जो आपको फ्री पेनल्टी विंडो था, यहाँ बंद हो गया और ऑर्डर भी हो गया. उसके 30 दिन के बाद भी अगर आप भरोगे तो भी आपकी पेनल्टी बढ़ नहीं रही, इट रिमेन सेम. So here you have got two window to pay tax and interest without penalty, and in this window you will have to sell out 10% of tax as penalty or 10,000 whichever is higher in normal SOCOS. But वही अगर फ्रॉड का मैटर है, even if you pay before SOCOS notice, you will have to pay 15% of tax amount as penalty, 15% of tax amount as penalty. अगर आपके क्लाइंट में समन्स इश्यू हुआ रहेगा सेंटर की टीम से, तो ऑफिसर बोलेगा एक काम करो साहब, टैक्स भरो, इंटरेस्ट भरो और 15% पेनल्टी करो. ही इज रिफरिंग टू दिस प्रोविजन 74(5). जो भी बोगस के नोटिस आपको आए हुए हैं, और अगर जेन्युइनली बोगस है, क्लाइंट ने कुछ फॉर XYZ रीजन, क्लाइंट माइट हैव बीन फोर्स्ड टू डू ऑल सच थिंग्स, और अगर लगता है कि भाई बोगस ही है, you can pay tax, interest and 15% of tax amount as penalty, and you can ask for closure. खत्म हो गया, कुछ नहीं कर सकता. But you are still saying no, I will decide subsequently. और SOCOS नोटिस इश्यू हो चुकी है, और SOCOS इश्यू होने के 30 दिन तक भी आपने टैक्स नहीं भरा, तो that penalty amount will increase from 15 to 25%. एंड अगर आपको आपके इसमें SOCOS आई है, प्लीज वेरीफाई फैक्ट्स. चेक कर लीजिए फैक्ट्स डिफेंडेबल है या फैक्ट्स वीक है. अगर फैक्ट्स डिफेंडेबल नहीं है, अप टू 30 डेज आपका पेनल्टी 15% ही रहेगा. 30 दिन पास होने के बाद दैट पेनल्टी अमाउंट विल इंक्रीज टू 25%. आपने यहां भी टैक्स नहीं भरा, ऑर्डर इश्यू हो गया, विद इन 30 डेज ऑफ ऑर्डर आपका पेनल्टी अमाउंट 50% ही है। ऑर्डर में लिख के आएगा योर पेनल्टी पेबल इज ₹100, बट इफ यू पे विद इन 30 days यू आर सपोज टू पे ओनली 50% ऑफ टैक्स अमाउंट एज पेनल्टी। और एकदम एंड में अगर भरा ही नहीं है, कुछ भी लिटिगेशन चल ही रहा है, पेनल्टी अमाउंट कैन बी 100%। एक चीज याद रखना है, पेनल्टी तभी आएगा जब टैक्स सस्टेन होगा। अगर टैक्स सस्टेन नहीं हो तो पेनल्टी भी नहीं आ सकता। वेरी वेरी बेसिक, करेक्ट। इनकम टैक्स भी वही है, अगर क्वांटम डिसाइड हुआ तभी पेनल्टी आएगी, और क्वांटम में आप बैठोगे नहीं तो पेनल्टी आ नहीं सकती। So depending on situation where you are, where is your facts, you will have to take a call. You can save a lot of amount as a penalty, and you can also avoid litigation. Sorry. Friends, show cause notice एक इतना बड़ा चैप्टर है, so we can deliberate on this topic for a day also, 2 days also, ये तो चलता ही रहेगा, because show cause notice is the heart of GST. ये आता ही है, you can't avoid. Because of limitation of time, now I will go to another topics. Otherwise, I will not be able to touch base summons, department audits. So let me handle even departmental audits. I will try to explain only infographics. यहाँ से ही हम पूरा clear कर सकते हैं. Many practitioners might not have handled service tax audits, so they don't know कि नोटिस आने के बाद करना क्या है. लॉ नया है, so let us understand what are the pros and cons, what are the options available, how to handle such notices. If your client case is selected for audit, client will get something called ADT1. ADT1 is nothing but intimation about conducting of audit. आपको ऐसा ADT1 आएगा. Once ADT1 has been issued, you are supposed to submit details to department. In fact, center की team carries out lot of desk review on their own before they start audit. Whatever information you have filed in 1, 3B, 9, 9C, plus whatever information they have received from DGERN, everything is checked before they commence their audit. They also go through your financials, creditors report, tax audit report. They got a lot of information about taxpayer. Once you submit those details, they will verify. Generally, audit may they come to your place at least once. For 2-3 days they will come, and then second part can be done at their end. But they will be your guest for at least 3-4 days. Intention, you want to understand what you are doing, how you are operating, what is your organizational structure. If notice has been issued and all details have been submitted, department will give you something called DAR, draft audit report. Whatever observations they have about your case will be given in the form of draft audit report. All discrepancies they will point out. Once you receive this DAR, taxpayer has got 2 choices. For certain para, taxpayer may say, yes, this is my error, I'm ready to pay with tax and interest. Penalty nahi, tax and interest, because so कुछ issue नहीं हुआ. If client pays tax and interest, for that para, there will be clean report. For certain para, if there is no agreement between you and department says you are supposed to pay tax, you say, sorry, I'm not supposed to pay tax. Then on that para, there will be negative report from department. This positive or negative report, even nil report will be in form ADT02. Notice in ADT01, final observations, final para in ADT02. Assuming there is no agreement between you and department बोला टैक्स भरो, आप बोल रहे नहीं मेरे हिसाब से तो टैक्स भरने को नहीं आता. Department will issue negative audit report. Department will also issue show cause notice. Show cause notice आने के बाद you are supposed to again file your reply. There will be adjudication process. After this process, there will be an order, final order. If this order is against taxpayer can file appeal at higher ups. ये पूरा ऑडिट का प्रोसेस है. जस्ट बिकॉज आज ऑडिट का नोटिस आया है, आज के आज टैक्स नहीं भरना, there will be lot of processes involved. Only at this stage outflow होगा, because you will have to pay 10% of tax demand as appeal filing fees. Till this stage, this is all paper demand. यहाँ आपका आउटफ्लो चालू होगा. I have been told to reserve for 10 minutes for question and answer. So I will again touch base summons. 2-3 minutes I will try to touch base summons, because summons एक बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है. And people fear from summons, लोग डरते हैं. समन क्या है? What is summon? हिंदी में समन किसको बोलते हैं? किसी को बुलाना है तो we call summon. Right? How do authority summon? By issuing summons under section 70. This section talks about power to issue summons. बहुत छोटा सा सेक्शन है. 70 subsection 1. Proper officer under this act shall have power to summon any person. Any person whose attendance he considers necessary, either to give evidence or to produce a document or any other thing. Summon क्यों issue किया जाता है? For these three purposes. Either to give evidence in someone else's matter, or to produce a document or any other thing in any inquiry in the same manner as provided in case of civil court under the provision of Code of Civil Procedure 1908. ये 4 लाइन में पूरा प्रोविजन कंक्लूड है, बट बहुत ओपन एंडेड है. Any person, and that's why you might have seen superintendent situated in Haryana is summoning your client. Summons आते हैं. Now, who is proper officer? Proper officer can issue summons. Proper officer का मतलब क्या हुआ summons के लिए? I am referring to circular number 3. As per this circular, superintendent and above is proper officer. यानी सबसे जो लोअर लेवल है वो भी प्रॉपर ऑफिसर है फॉर इश्यूएंस ऑफ समन्स. In case of investigation, senior intelligence officer, and in case of audits, superintendent of GST audit is the proper officer. यानी ये 3 जन या इसके ऊपर के सीनियर समन इश्यू कर सकते हैं. Of course, they will have to take permission from assistant commissioner. Superintendent के ऊपर का लेवल assistant commissioner होता है. तो ये जो पूरा पावर है ये बहुत नीचे के लेवल पे दे दिया है. And that's why you will see anti-evasion के बहुत आपको समन्स आते रहेंगे. Very common. In case of income tax, summons बहुत जल्दी नहीं आते. But in case of GST, summons frequently issue कर दिया. Is this correct? Answer is no. If you see board guidelines says You can't summon as a matter of right. It should be done only as a last resort. अगर कोई पेपर दे ही नहीं रहा है, डिपार्टमेंट के पास इंफॉर्मेशन ही नहीं आ रही है, then only summons can be issued. But that guidelines is never followed. Many times we have seen director को सीधा summon कर लेते हैं. Now, that director might not be even connected with GST. Someone issue कर दिया. Board circular is very clear that this is not possible unless and until involvement of that director is proved, he cannot be summoned. बहुत बार क्वेरी रहती है, समन आया है, who should go? Can CA go? Can CA appear? Unless and until if it is personal summons issued in the name of director, even CA, if he is conversant with facts, he can appear on behalf of client and submit records. You have to go by intention of the summons. Summon क्या क्यों issue किया है? अगर documents देना है, anybody can go and submit the documents. But if it is personal summon issued to somebody, then only that guy will have to appear before authority. Generally, authorized representative allow किया जाता है, unless and until it is hawala matter or something of that sort. Otherwise, it's allowed. If summon is issued, there are certain do's and don'ts. Some other occasion we will discuss, but unless you know facts, don't disclose. अगर कुछ बोल दिया तो कल आपके अगेंस्ट जाना है. Whether CAs are allowed? Yes, sir. So, correct.
And recently also had appeared. Now we are going for the recording of statement.
If you are aware about facts, your statement can be recorded. But जिसको facts मालूम है उसका statement record किया जाएगा. Otherwise नहीं कर पाएंगे. In a company there might be 12 directors, but only one is dealing with GST. Then only his statement can be recorded, not of all. Can CA remain present? बहुत बार client बोलते हैं आप मेरे साथ चलिए. Statement में. Law is very clear. If officer allows you to sit, you can sit. Otherwise, as a matter of right, you cannot ask कि मुझे भी साथ में बैठना है. Officer will say, okay, you sit in another room. That is allowed. But you cannot say मुझे साथ में रहना. Allow me to even attend this proceedings or allow me to speak. Sorry. Many times officer may allow you, but he will say अब बात नहीं करोगे. You just remain silent spectator. Depending upon officer, आपको ये allow किया जाता है. There is something called retraction. Summons में generally pressure किया जाता है, और pressure नहीं भी करे तो भी summon का नाम सुन के pressure आया. Correct? Because these are difficult proceedings, and taxpayer generally they may have never appeared before authorities like this. Quite possible they may not be aware about facts. तो कई बार कुछ बोल देते हैं जो नहीं बोलना चाहिए. If that has happened in your case, take help of lawyer and retract your statement as early as possible. कई बार कुछ बोल दिया है, गलत बोल दिया है, तो you can retract. If you retract your statement, then that statement will not have any value as such. So friends, I have tried to touch base certain litigious positions of GST. क्या होने वाला है, क्या होगा आगे जाके. Next 1 year हम कहाँ busy रहेंगे? Because now I'm sure 3B R1 99C is happening in autopilot mode. हो रहा है. But now new animals like ASMT 10, DRC 1A, DRC, DRC 7, summons, ADT 1, ADT 2, ये सब आएंगे और हमें इसको हैंडल करना है. So with that intention, I have tried to touch base few topics. If you have any query on this topic, I will be happy to learn from you. Yes.
What is happening now, what I'm seeing is commissioners
appeal. Matter is in front of them. They don't know the subject. They talk about everything else except what is being asked. Pass order which गोल गोल घूम रहा है, समझ ही नहीं आ रहा करना क्या है. No direction given even to who might have went for the appeal. Normally the department is going to appeal. So in that matter, tribunal is not yet. So what should we do? Is there a provision for rectification?
Okay. So you are in bullseye, but unfortunately, you know, this is the reality right now. If you have doubt about what you told, better to postpone hearing as much as possible. Because once demand has been created, department will run after you. Tribunal is not there. Of course, what we do, we make payment of 10% and we try to obtain a stay because there is circular, beneficial circular. Tribunal, when it will come, what will be shape, everything is in flux right now. So if you are sure that you are not going to get justice, try to delay the proceedings. First, agar order aa gaya hai, make part payment, submit this with authority. There is a circular which says that agar aapne amount pay kar diya, so it is automatic stay. Rectification, of course, it is possible, but we have not understood your case at first instance. Do you think they will rectify your case?
Why I ask you this question is 2 points.
Section 161. Section 161 says any authority who has passed or issued any decision or order or notice or certificate or any other document may rectify. So if you see 161, power is very wide. Anything can be rectified.
Why I ask you this? Basically, there were 2 orders, different clients, both were for refund of exports. One of the order he quantified how much I have to pay by quoting the circular 135 and he quoted pura circular interpret. In second case, same officer, same by luck quantifying India, and in that order he didn't say anything. He didn't even give direction ke karna kya. He said that you need to recalculate and as per section as per the circular the violation. So I am telling the officers that on principle not accepting. Because I karunga to pay and wait for.
So see, if principle of nature justice is violated, rate is one of the option. But rate ke liye you will have to consider cost involved. For each and everything, we can't approach High Court. Technically, it is possible. Theoretically, it is possible. But whether your clients will support this, whether they have that much deep pockets, तो ये भी एक चैलेंज आता है. तो लॉ तो अपने ठिकाने, बाकी से प्रैक्टिकल इश्यूज आर आल्सो देयर. डिपेंडिंग अपॉन ऑल दिस थिंग्स आपको कैसे लेना है. अगर उन्होंने डायरेक्शन ही नहीं दिया, तो I think you should feel yourself lucky, because at higher ups आपको order मिल जाने वाला है. If it is violation of PNJ, the violation of PNJ is seen very rigorously by higher ups. तो ये आपको order तो मिले, favor तो मिलेगा. कब मिलेगा? That is something. It's a big question right now. Unless we have tribunal in place, and even if tribunal is in place in years' time, for next 2-3 years, they'll be occupied with all past matters, because many appeals are pending at tribunal level. बहुत सारे orders जमा हो चुके हैं. उसको close करते pendency वहां बढ़ जाएगी. I think आज 2016 का judgment 2016 का matter tribunal में चल रहा है. So anyway 6 years का backlog तो है, plus GST का backlog आएगा. So when you will heard and when you will get justice is a big question. Sorry, yes, madam.
First resort means
एंटी इवेजन समन से ही प्रोसीडिंग चालू करते हैं। अगर आप नोटिस में देखोगे सुपरिटेंडेंट ए लिखा है, इट मीन सुपरिटेंडेंट एंटी इवेजन ने नोटिस इश्यू की है। ये एंटी इवेजन वाले तो चालू ही समन से करते हैं। वैलिड नहीं है, लेकिन इनवैलिड, आपको इनवैलिडिटी प्रूव करने के लिए रीट फाइल करना पड़ेगा। आर यू गेटिंग मी?
We filed the reply and he accepted the reply and given the acknowledgement. Then thereafter what we
नहीं, रिप्लाई फाइल हुआ है, ऑर्डर तो नहीं किया ना उसने। हवाला मैटर था, क्या था?
नहीं, वो वाला सामने वाला फ्रॉड है, सामने वाला का इनवॉइस गलत है। Then we have filed our reply that in
सोकोज आएगा आपको आगे जाके, because see once summons has been issued, logical conclusion रहेगा they will issue सोकोज today or tomorrow. They have got, भाई आपका केस में हवाला वाला मैटर है या नॉन जेन्युइन टैक्स पेयर है, they have got 5 years, so they are also okay with this. As in rate discrepancies in misclassification, that's it. हाँ, ठीक है, सबमिशन एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है ना। as long as you get any SOCOS notice, be happy because आपके पास कुछ है नहीं। Summon per se is not proceedings, SOCOS तो आए नहीं, जो proceedings चल रहा था उसका आपने रिप्लाई कर दिया। Now ideally you should not remind him again and again, because if you remind it will go against you only. Anti evasion आपके फेवर में तो कभी ऑर्डर देगा नहीं, उनकी ही मजबूरी। एंटी इवेजन is for some different purpose, it is for revenue maximization, so they will give an order against you only. आपने रिप्लाई था, रिप्लाई फाइल कर दिया, स्टे हैप्पी। जब तक कोई रिप्लाई नहीं आता, एंटी इवेजन को हैरान नहीं करना। कंडोनेशन को अपील तो अभी तो राइट नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट एक्सटेंशन ऑफ ऑर्डर टिल 28 में आप कोई भी ऑर्डर आप अपील फाइल कर सकते हो। कंडोनेशन में जाना ही क्यों है? कंडोनेशन कब होता है? जब डिले हुआ है। बिकॉज ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑर्डर टिल 28 में आप आराम से कोई भी अपील फाइल कर सकते हो। यस सर।
SME has got the ADT was noticed for the same financial year. Aspect which is taken by the officer for the 17-18.
So what is your query? Your query, can your case, can your client case be selected for audit or not? That's your query.
No, that it can be selected, but what are the parameters that they look into this?
Sir, parameters. See, if you are really interested in reading those parameters, I will suggest there is a CBIC audit manual, CBIC GST audit manual. अगर आप खाली इतना ही टाइप करोगे गूगल पे आपको मिल जाएगा, पब्लिक डॉक्यूमेंट है। What documents department will verify, from where they will verify, what could be the intention of this verification. Everything has been very clearly mentioned in CBIC audit manual. If your client case has been selected by state team, तो state के लिए there is a separate circular. Circular number 13T of 2020. This circular lays down documents which will be asked. What is your right? What is your obligation? Everything has been mentioned in this circular issued by Commissioner of State Tax. आप दोनों को आप रिफर कर सकते हो। अगर आपका केस रिफंड का है तो देयर फोकस मेनली विल बी ऑन रिफंड। ऑल क्लाइंट्स जहां बड़ा रिफंड है वहां एडिटी, वहां नोटिस आने ही, ऑडिट होने ही वाली है, बिकॉज ऑडिट तो पहले हुआ नहीं है। तो दिस इज पोस्ट डिसबर्समेंट रिफंड ऑडिट, यू कैन से, एंड देयर मोर फोकस विल बी ऑन आप गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट किया है, सर्विस एक्सपोर्ट की है, आर यू फुलफिलिंग ऑल द कंडीशंस, whether you have brought remittance within the time limit. 96B अभी नया रूल आया हुआ है, that has been complied with. No, 96B is from 22nd March 2020. So their main focus will be on that. Is it real export or it is domestic supply shown as export? उनको इसी में इंटरेस्ट रहेगा कि भाई आप रियल एक्सपोर्ट कर रहे हो या फिर आपका डोमेस्टिक सप्लाई और अपने एक्सपोर्ट दिखाएं. Any other query? Yes, sir. Correct.
For example, difference between, so they, I insisted that I will something self-certificate in case of discrepancy below 2.5 lakh and CA certified by or 2.5 lakh. So whether they are
So sir is referring to internal circular number 02 issued by State Commissioner,
Yes.
Maharashtra.
Yes.
This is a beneficial circular. There are various errors, which has occurred in the initial year of GST, and like B2C error, certain transactions are not reported. And for this, State Commissioner has taken a beneficial view and internal circular has been issued. Now, sir is interested in understanding whether that circular is binding to central team or it is only binding on state team.
Yes, correct.
Correct? Sir, ground level officer has got different perception of the issue. Their perception is totally different. To my understanding, circular has got only one reasoning. Why circular has been issued? To clarify legal position. Correct? Once State Commissioner is clarifying certain legal position, is it not binding on central? My understanding is because it is clarifying the legal position. Legal position cannot be different for state or different for central. No, that's what I'm saying. If you see jurisprudence over High Court judgment, jurisprudence says that if there is a judgment from the Gujarat High Court, and if there is no contrary judgment from Mumbai High Court, then even that judgment is binding. Because there is nothing against you from Maharashtra, Mumbai High Court. So then that judgment is binding on your case also. Similar, by applying same logic, if Commissioner State Tax has clarified certain position, to my understanding, it is equally applicable to central authorities. Superintendent cannot apply his wisdom against central commissioner. My view again, but sir, ground level पे ये सब हो नहीं रहा, and you will get benefit only at appellate level. Reality of life, whatever I say, whatever you say, whatever we discuss, lower level officers, उनका काम और कुछ है. They are more interested in issuing so-called notices. You are saying state tax officer? In one case, day before yesterday, officer asked me a question. He says that circular is there, fine. How do I apply that circular to central tax? He says state tax to apply kar dunga. How do I apply to central tax? I said, sir, are these two different tax? They are twin brothers. Even if they are separate, they are twin brothers. You cannot isolate them. Correct? Now, officers will have their own interpretation. But my understanding says once State Commissioner has issued those circular, even if it is internal, it is binding on them.
Permission from higher authority, and they are not approval, therefore we are not.
सर ये सब बोला जा रहा है, but ultimately आप समझिए at appellate stage all this doesn't count. All such circular will be recognized. Authorities will take cognizance of this circular. अगर आप customs में practice करते थे तो trade notice आती थी. Trade notice of say Visakhapatnam trade was equally binding on Mumbai Commissionerate, correct? So ये view तो चलेगा नहीं कि किसी ने issue किया तो हम इसको नहीं follow करेंगे. This is one nation, one tax. But yes, ground level पे जब तक ये सब clarification नहीं आएंगे from CBIC, officers will continue to have their own thinking, their own perceptions, and litigation will multiply. ये चलता रहेगा. इसका कोई solution right now तो नहीं. Yeah. So friends, we had many practical situations where there is no answer as of now. Only thing, keep litigating. At some day, there will be some favorable judgment from some high court, and then your client will get benefit. Till now, litigation will continue. No choice available. Thank you very much for patient sharing, friends. Thank you once again for this opportunity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Jignesh bhai. So Jignesh bhai is rightly is commented on the issues. Basically, he has touched upon on the written scrutinies and the departmental assessments and the summons and the show cause. Truly speaking, sir, as he said, CBIS is just recently 11 days back, they are coming up with the SOP for the guidelines to how to scrutinize the returns under GST by the CBIS central officers. So truly speaking, instead of giving the separate SOPs by the CBIC and by the state government, on a lighter note, Jignesh bhai, if I'm not wrong, we need one SOP in between the center and state officers so that we all should be at a par instead of facing a lot of many notices now and then. But then also Jignesh bhai touched upon all the important aspects of the today's subject. And thank you very much, Jignesh bhai. There are some few announcements. So I will now call upon our Deputy Governor CA Purvi Bagaria ji. She will announce some of the important announcements, and then she will cast the vote of thanks also. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesh. First of all, coming to the announcements part. Audible now? Coming to the announcements part. The announcement is regarding the payment of membership fees for the year 22-23. I would like to first tell all the members about the fees. As you all know, there is a little surplus from last year's fees that we are going to adjust for continuing members. So the fees payable for the members who were there in financial year 21-22 is rupees 1100. Rupees 700 is being adjusted from last year's fees. So out of the 1800, 1100 is payable. For the new members, a fees of rupees 2000 is payable. The young members, that is the new members registered with ICI after 1st April 2020, a fees of rupees 1000 is being suggested. The entry fees is waived for the new members. We have proposed a contribution to CABF of rupees 100 voluntarily. I would like to request you all to contribute to the CABF fund generously, because ICI has been CABF fund in the COVID times. So I would like to ask you all to consider contributing to CABF along with the fees. The study group renewal fees for the past members is 500 rupees, and for the new members of study group, it is rupees 700. And I would like to request you all to pay the fees at the earliest, because these fees are applicable for all those members who pay till June 30th. After June 30th, there is a scope of revision of fees. It might get raised. Also, GST is applicable. GST is payable on the fees additionally, apart from this fees. And also to remind you all that CPE credit is only given to the members who have paid their fees for the study circle. So this was regarding the fees. Now to propose a vote of thanks for today's speaker, CA Jignesh Kansara. On behalf of the study circle, JP Nagar Study Circle of WIRCF ICI, I would like to propose a very hearty vote of thanks to CA Jignesh Kansara, who has spoken on the topics of recent changes in the GST, handling of GST assessments, notices, show cause notices, summons. He has very well explained the entire procedure through his very elaborate infographics, very easy to understand. He has also deliberated on he has also shown us the law extracts, the recent instructions, and all the case laws. He has also taken up the practical queries of all our participants. We shall all agree that he has given a very detailed and a very nice presentation on GST today. So on behalf of the House, I would like to propose a hearty vote of thanks to today's speaker. Thank you.
हाँ बोला था मैंने लास्ट वीक बोला था ना 2-3 बजे के बाद आने के लिए सेकेंड हाफ में। आज 3 बजे के बाद आ जाइए। हाँ नहीं अभी तो मैं बाहर हूँ, मैं तो आने में थोड़ा टाइम लग जाएगा मेरे को। हाँ मॉर्निंग में ठीक है। मॉर्निंग में कितने बजे आएंगे? हाँ 8:30 तक आ जाएंगे। ठीक।
ये प्रोजेक्टर अपना इधर
नहीं अपना ये लैब का काम करता है।
क्या नाम है?
हरी हरी